and welcome to Big Brother's Bit on the Side. And guess what? It's the last Monday of this year's civilian series. I know, it's actually gutting. The finishing line is well and truly in sight, and we're only 4 nights away from the grand finale. So we're going to get on and meet tonight's panel, but first up, I can't believe this. You're never going to believe who's in the audience. It's Mary from The Undateables! And she's brought her glittery stall. Lovely. There you go now. You put that there. I can't believe you're here, ultimate fan. Right, let's meet tonight's panel. First up, it's a woman who knows a thing or two about making it to the final. All you need is a love triangle, a few deep and meaningful conversations, and, of course, a mum called Jackie Travers. Yeah. It's Charlie Travers! Next up, it's an actress who played the daughter-in-law of a former celeb Big Brother housemate of mine. And, in fact, she adopted her hermaphrodite baby and then murdered her ex-lover. There's nothing she wouldn't do for Julian Talforth, his footballer's wife, Susie Aming! And joining them is a fragrant lady who's brightened up my Big Brother of summer. She's got gorgeous looks, but an acid tongue. It's Louisa Zisman! And to celebrate our first day of Winners' Week, please welcome the champion of Big Brother 13, the one and only Luke A. Lukey bye! There you are. You all right, babe? How are you? Good? Come take a seat. Give up the Luke! Oh, we've had a bit of a show tonight, haven't we? We've had a makeshift water park. Judy James. Judy in her wig, not her actual hair, well, not the wig that she wore as a judge. I don't think it's even legal to impersonate a judge, so she might get a bit in trouble for that. We've had a tipsy Christopher and Ashley singing Like a Prayer. This is the series that just keeps on giving. Oh, yeah. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start things off with the courtroom task. Helen was found guilty of creating a group divide and, in the words of Christopher, creating a horrific reign of terror. Bit much. Luke, do you agree with Judy James?
I do, and I definitely agree with Christopher. You know, it was quite a horrific reign of terror. So, yeah, I mean, to be honest, though, in the past few episodes, I'm starting to get a bit of a soft spot for Helen, though. So...
Do you know what?
She's coming across quite well.
Every single night, it's changing, isn't it? People are like, yeah, we like Helen. We went for a stage on here where all the audience, if someone said something bad about her, they were going boo, then they were clapping. She's such a hard one. But, I mean, Helen weren't happy. She called the others granified, boring bastards. They were her words. And stating that Ashley gets away with absolute murder. Susie, the last time you were here, you said that Ashley was quite powerful in there. Is she still?
I think she's the most powerful in there. I think she's more powerful than Helen. I actually don't mind Helen. I think that I wouldn't want to be in there with her, and I do think she's quite intimidating, but she is what she is. She's very honest and straightforward, and I do like that in someone. I think, Ashley, there are lots of layers there, and for an 18-year-old girl, she is in charge of that house.
This is what I'm saying. What would you have said if you were the judge? Would you have found Ashley guilty of the divide then?
I don't... Do you know, actually, I do think, and not because they're scary, but I do think Ashley and Chris do make a point of going off and talking and being quite introverted.
Only because Helen's so intimidating, though, that's probably why. The crux of it is still Helen, though.
She's remotely intimidated of Helen.
Well, look, one thing Helen, she's admitted to causing conflict, but she said she always wanted to be the housemates as one massive team. Have you seen this from her? Have you seen that she wants that teamwork?
No. I don't think Helen wants them to be a team. I think Helen likes it Helen's way. And the reason why she doesn't, you know, her and Ashley just tolerate each other. I don't think they're going to be friends after this. But if Ashley sort of played to Helen like everybody else does, then Helen would be fine. But she doesn't.
Ask this lot, because it is you guys, you're the audience. What are we making of Helen? Is she misunderstood, Paul?
There's no question, Rylan. Helen is compulsive viewing. But they had it spot on with the word aggression. And even her best friend, Ash, and Pav, who was defending her, used the word aggression many times. So there's no doubt Judge Judy got it right.
Anyone disagree? Does anyone disagree with Paul? You can disagree, babe.
I disagree. I think the divide came at the start with Pauline, and I think that's where the seed started. And Helen, she's had a rough time in there. She's coming round, and I'm really liking her now, and I know I'm not...
Do you know what, though? It's funny you say that, because we're going to be talking about the whole power trip thing a little bit later on, and Pauline will come up in that. Charlie, do you think that Judy's sentence could be quite damaging on Helen in the house?
No, not really, because she's not going to win anyway. And I just think that she is misunderstood, and I appreciate that in her past she's obviously had a rough ride, and that's why she's so defensive, and that's why she's got issues. But there's no excusing her being such a bully. She's really quite a intimidating character. I mean, I'd be terrified of her if I was in there. I find her...
But do you think, Susie, do you think that, let's be fair, Pav wasn't the greatest barrister, was he? Do you think she would have fared a bit better if she'd have Christopher on her side fighting her case?
He made me die laughing.
He was loving it, wasn't he?
He also thought he'd done a great job, and he didn't. He called his own client aggressive. The one thing she was being accused of, he confirmed it, bang to rights. Yeah, I think Christopher was a lot more eloquent in his defence of Ashley, and I think he did a much better job, but Pav was so funny. It's all about entertainment, after all.
Yeah, but speaking of Pav, Luke, what are we making of him? Because, you know, lately he's got quite close to Helen and Ash, hasn't he? He's sort of slowly moving towards that group.
To me, he's still like a neutral housemate. I don't know, I think probably because he came in so, like, late, he just seems like, you know, one of those people that's just always going to be, like, sort of on both sides, really.
But what we've seen with Pav tonight, though, is fair play to him.
Yeah.
He spoke to her in the toilet
tonight,
tonight,
he told her how it was.
And he said, he turned around and went, babe, listen, at the end of the day, you have said some horrible things. I've sat here and watched it, do you know what I mean? Louisa, do you think this is the Pav that he was in his VT? He's now starting to come out?
Yeah, I think it's taken him a while to settle. Pav's really growing on me. I really liked him when I met him. And I think it would be great if Pav won. I think it would be so funny. It would just...
Martin agrees. Go on, go on.
Funny, wouldn't it?
May have gone in halfway through. But look what he's had to put up with. All those housemates being so precious about a new housemate coming in. He has had... It's almost as if he's been there from day one and he's now coming into his own, and I think he deserves to win more than the others.
Do we agree?
Pav as well was the only one, I think, out of the whole house to go in that toilet and stand up and say, look, you are what this, you are that, you are this. You know, so...
Do you think he can win it?
Yeah, I think he's going to be the slippery one that's going to come up the side and round.
Well, do you know what?
We love an underdog.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
country.
Talking of winners, with 4 days to go, it is still all to play for, and someone who knows exactly what it takes to win is our very own Luke A. Let's have a reminder of his winning moment.
Of this year's Big Brother is... True. You are the winner of Big Brother 2012. Congratulations. Luke A, can you do me a favour? Can you stay exactly where you are? I'll be talking to you shortly.
No!
It felt good.
Yeah.
It feels good.
That's crazy seeing that.
Luke, how was the final week for you? Come on, because, you know, you had a divide in your house, didn't you, as well? So how did that play out?
Well, do you know what? The divide didn't matter so much in the final week because I think everyone was so bored of arguing. They just wanted to sort of, you know, try and, like, get on.
But that divide in your house, it was throughout the whole series, wasn't it? And coming
horrible.
into the final week, did you feel that sort of dispersed and everyone sort of come together?
Yeah. Also, I think that, you know, the cool kids of our house, the, like, insiders, whatever, I think they realised by then that, you know, the public, you know, weren't sort of really backing them so much. So I think they sort of came over to the, you know, the soldiers type thing and way of life. So.
Well, another person in the final was obviously you, Charlie. You made it all the way to the final. Just about. The difference is, though, your lot last year seemed a lot tighter than this year. Why do you think this year they haven't bonded so well?
Well, I don't know. I think ours weren't actually as close as it seemed. Like, I think there was a lot more sort of fakeness and backstabbing in ours. But egos, obviously, Power Trip, is very much associated together. So for our series, it's a lot more vulnerable, it's secrets and lies. We were always scared, always paranoid, whereas Power Trip, you know, egos had to come out and defensiveness quite early on, and I think that's obviously caused very sort of individual argumentative behaviour. But I think that's sort of competition.
That's the thing with this year's lot. I mean, considering they've all made it into the final, they aren't exactly being the happiest bunch about it, are they?
They're being ungrateful. They should, like, be embracing it. They really should. It's their last week.
This is what I'm saying. We saw with you guys last year, you really embraced it. You thought, we're in the final, let's
just like, right, we've got 5 days to go, let's embrace it, let's have fun. They're so moody.
Unappreciative as well.
But this is what I'm saying, there's going to be more drama. It's the final week. Are we going to have any more drama
I don't think we're going to see any more drama because they're just going to... They've got the final inside. They can't be asked.
They've had enough.
It really feels like they can't be asked. They just want to get out now.
But I've heard what they've got planned for this week. I can't reveal it, and I really want to. Something's going to go down very soon and it's going to shake it up. So make sure you check the website and the app tonight, guys. But give yourselves a round of applause. Now, listen, the number of housemates may be going down, but one thing we'll always have is exclusive content on this show. Now, I know you don't believe me, but to prove it, have a look at this.
There are many things about Helen which still annoy me as well. Like the fact that she never listens, the fact that she can be incredibly rude and make snide comments like the Mother Teresa gag as well last week. There are many of those kind of things which still annoys me. But what is the point now? She's not going to change. She is who she is. And moreover than that, I don't want to be the person to try and force her to change. As well, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I've told Helen 1,000,001 times of things which have upset me, things that she's done, things that when she's never listened to me, whenever she's ignored my feelings about things, and she's made me feel quite small. And I've addressed those things 101 times. And just last night, I felt I'd had enough. There's no point anymore. Helen has been congratulated in the house in recent weeks for being more polite, for being a little bit more chatty, and for the first time last night, I realised she hasn't really done very much. That's what you should do. You should be chatty. You should be polite. Do you know what I mean?
Dishing it out. Join us after the break where Dr. Pam Spur will be delving into the housemates' behaviour for one last time. And do you know what? We're going to go extra deep tonight because it's the last one of the series. But first, it is finale night on Friday and we've got another 5 housemates to get rid of before we can crown your winner. Who wins? You decide! Good done!
This week, Ash, Ashley, Chris, Christopher, Helen and Pav all face the public vote. Who wins? You decide. From a landline, call 090 20 44 58 and add the number of the housemate you want to win. From a mobile, call 6 50 58 and add the number of the housemate you want to win. For Ash, add 01. For Ashley, add 02. For Chris, add 03. For Christopher, add 04. For Helen, add 06. For Pav, add 18. Mobile and BT landline votes cost 50 pence. Other landlines may vary. Or you can vote via the Big Brother app, where 2 votes will cost you 99 pence. Voting closes in Friday's live final. You can find terms on the Big Brother website.
Welcome back to Big Brother's Bit on the Side, where, just like Helen, we never talk to our friends the way Ashley does. I can't do the accent for us. You want me to do the accent? Well, I'm going to try. One thing I can do is deliver some blinding exclusive. Have a butcher's at this. Was that all right?
I didn't sleep much last night and I kind of just lay there just thinking, it is what it is. And it's not all that bad. And instead of just bawling my eyes out like some bloody nutter, like having a breakdown, I was tired. I was pissed off at what I'd been labelled yesterday. That really annoyed me, that the conclusion was that I was the main cause of a divide in the house. That just, well, it still annoys me now actually, but what can I do? I can't do anything about it. And I'm going home in like 4 days, so me being a divide in the house won't be a problem anymore, will it?
Now, over the past 10 weeks, there's always been one woman I can rely on to help me make sense of the crazy world that is Big Brother. She's led me through by the hand, through the ups, the downs, the ins and the outs of the housemates. And without her, I'd truly be lost. So for the last time this series, please welcome my good friend, Dr. Pam Spur! How are you?
I'm very well. I'm so delighted to hear we're going extra deep tonight.
Oh, we're going extra
Wow.
deep, Pam. Can you believe it's nearly over?
No, I can't. It's shot by
It's
way too
crazy.
fast.
Right, let's talk about it. What have you made of this series?
Well, This series has been phenomenal for one key reason. As a psychologist, seeing all these people go into the house, like all of us out here, who all harbor emotional pain. They've all been wounded in some way, and we see various degrees of healing between them. But we see, like Mark, talk about how guarded he is in relationships. Because, of course, in the past, obviously, he's had to be for whatever reason. We see Helen...
And Kimberly.
And Kimberly
was another one.
Exactly. And then we see Helen, who obviously has been through so much in her life, and she reacts with anger to kind of deflect that hurt inside. And we see Chris, who says, you know, I'm always the one that people say is creepy. I just expect it. And, you know, Ashley saying she'd always been bullied, and so she's had to stand firm on things. And so just as a human experience, it's been incredible watching this. It's like a group therapy session without a moderator, you know?
Do you know what a lot of people have said about this series, Pam, is that this bunch of housemates have been really clued up about Big Brother. I think especially off of the back of Secrets and Lies last year that Charlie was in, we've seen a lot of the housemates not trust Big Brother, not trust the theme, etc. How has that affected their behaviour, this series?
Well, it's amazing how, when you think about that, they chat all the time about, well, the viewers would like it if I was doing this. The viewers love a romance, but they can tell a showmance.
Yeah.
Oh, the viewers don't like it when we do this. So they seem all clued up. But the minute they get feedback from the viewers, they do exactly what the viewers don't want them to do. So when the viewers said that Helen was too aggressive, she immediately has a bit of a strop.
Yeah.
When they say Mark's attention-seeking, he goes into one of his sort of crazy, you know, sort of strops. And so it's like they don't take on board what they're talking about when they say, I know what the viewers want, but they don't give it to them because their impulse is to behave differently.
What about Power Trip? How's that affected them, the whole thing?
Okay, well, as I said a few weeks ago to you, the evil genius of Big Brother, they have beautifully crafted a series that completely brought about the most paranoia, the most suspicion, like this mental finger of doubt has been sort of cast around everywhere. And it started with Pauline, who up front, everybody knew she had the power, and the envy and jealousy over the choices she made. Then we had Chris, the secret housemate. Nobody knew for a time, and again, that finger was pointing around until a lot of them sussed out it probably was Chris. So it's gone on and twisted them and corrupted kind of some of their bonds and not helped the division, because automatically when you've had so much paranoia, you just kind of go into who do I know best, who do I trust most?
It's like defence mode. The only person I trust is myself.
Yeah.
That's how you go. I know that you've chosen a couple of clips, favourite clips of the series, so let's take a quick look at your first one.
Outstanding.
He was like, I love fake people.
I love it. Yeah, but do you know what? Do you know what I just thought then? I just thought, do you know what? This is your time now. Yeah. You've got about 10 seconds to actually just back yourself up, and he didn't.
Yeah.
He just stood there and went, oh, no, maybe not.
Really
maybe not. You dick.
It's so awkward.
Fuck off.
And then,
Oh, I hate him. I hate that. I feel like he's coming in disrupting a family.
I know, yeah. I don't trust him as far as I could throw in. That's not very far.
But I like everyone else. Oh, except from the slug.
Right, Pam, you've chosen that clip. Why that one? What have you made of it?
Well, I chose that because we've all talked about the divides and all the eruptions in the house. And that clip is a crystallization moment. Now, a crystallization moment is when you're thrown in with strangers, you don't know what's happening, and in the Big Brother house, it's high anxiety. And if you're talking to someone and it crystallizes that you two share something in common, as Helen and Tamara there have suddenly realized they both were saying, we are we, they are them, and Chris is certainly not one of us. So for them, it crystallized that they potentially had a bond. Oh, yeah, so immediately there was some seeds potentially for the divide, just in that little interaction on the second night.
Let's talk about this divide, because if the order of the housemates going in on the first two nights was reversed, how different would this series have been, do you think?
Oh, God, I would love it if you and I could have a Big Brother time machine.
Well, it's funny you should say... No, I haven't really got one.
Go back and put the second lot in first. Now, what we would have seen, I think we would have seen the second lot if we'd had the kind of geeks sort of dominating the first night. Probably more inclusive when the second lot came in.
The cool kids.
Exactly, but it doesn't mean that there still wouldn't have been a divide sort of forming, because even if the originals, you know, on the first night had been very friendly on the second night to those coming in,
You think it still would have gone the way it's gone?
I think we still would have seen.
Do you think we would have had a different Helen?
I think we might have, well, if she had felt uneasy going in as one of 6, with going into, like, you know, the other 12 or however many were already there, I think she might have felt a little more like, I've got to be a bit more gracious. But at the same time, she might have felt under threat and still thought, I'm going to bond with someone really quickly. And again, she might have had a crystallizing moment like that with Tamara, where it was about who can we protect ourselves against.
Who can we trust? Who can we have in our little game?
So it just kind of shows back to her roots of having difficulties with trust.
Well, Pam, I don't know how you've done it, but somehow she's managed to have a little look and a little rummage around the floor, and she's found a happy clip from this series. Can you believe it? Let's have a look. It's quite a rarity, isn't it, Pam? It's quite nice to see. What have you picked up from that?
Well, who doesn't love a pool party? And I'm expecting an invite to your pool party.
Yeah, you will get one, don't worry,
exactly.
when the pool's put in.
The thing is, you know, you and I were talking earlier about the fact the pool was always kind of the safe haven where everybody was equal all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And there they were. There was no territoriality.
Yeah.
Chris was welcomed in.
100%.
It's just that great moment where suddenly all the barriers are down. There's something about it's so, like, childlike that you're in the water splashing around.
But believe it or not, me and Pam were actually talking earlier, and I was like, Pam, you know, like, this pool party thing, is it a bit like territorial, like the pool's a free space? And Pam was like, yes, it is.
Exactly.
Look at me!
Exactly.
Look at me! Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah.
You've become a real psych on this.
I know, I
series.
actually can't believe it. Why do you think we didn't see more of that, though? Why has it been so much hardship in the house? Why not more of that?
There are so many missed opportunities. Like, let's say after Danielle got evicted, and there we saw Helen and Ashley have a proper convo. And it looked like, my gosh, you know, they're actually going to chat and work things out. But I think by that point, that things were so ingrained, their expectations of each other were so low. You know, Helen thinking Ashley was just no fun, Ashley thinking Helen might have a go at her, that, you know, it just couldn't perpetuate something better. And even say the moment was missed when, like, Winston and Danielle were flirting, because they were in opposite camps. And as
that could have been a bridge.
Well, yeah, exactly. And as Winston said on Bit on the Psych the other night, the one thing he regretted was not having a proper night with Danielle. Now, let's not say he works as fast as Lee Ryan, who was swapping between, you know, Casey and Jasmine in the Celebrity series, but he seemed to be, you know, able to swap his attentions to Danielle. But as we talked about that week, she was giving hot, cold signals, and so he didn't get clear message to actually have it off with her. I think if that had happened, we would have had, you know, bridged those groups. Because
it could have been a different thing.
So missed opportunities.
Do you know what I want to know, Pam? I know we're sitting here reminiscing, but we've nearly forgot that we've still got 4 days left. Just very quickly, lastly, I just want to know, what are we going to get from our housemates this week? You've predicted everything else bang on the button.
Well, unfortunately, we've already seen high emotionality, and we've seen, you know, Ash and Christopher are both very upset with the evictions on Friday night, and we've seen Helen and Ashley both very upset over all the stuff between them. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see more high emotionality, unlike, say, like Luke's series 2 summers ago, where we saw resolution, we saw acceptance of each other, even though there have been these divides, and we just haven't had this. And I think there's going to be more problems this week, unless they throw another pool party for them.
I doubt that's going to happen.
Give them a club night. Come on, let's do some happy things.
We might give them a little meal, see how they feel. Pam, have you loved it?
I have loved it.
You've been brilliant this series. You have been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to miss you next week. Give it up for Dr. Pam Spur, guys. Thank you. Right, it's time now to see what happened when Louisa had a little reunion with her BFFs, which was this year's ex-housemates. Did you have fun?
Yeah. Took bloody ages. This lot are a nightmare.
Nice. Here's what happens when Bots takes on Scorsese.
On Thursday, the 5th of June 2014, the world changed for 16 people. They transformed from members of the public to housemates. This was day one in an experience that would change them forever, 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 forever. It started started when the public gave Pauline the power and Pauline put Matthew in a box.
Maybe a bad decision.
I didn't mind really.
Yeah, you did. And Pauline gave Mark $5 grand. What a waste of money. It only took until day 5 before the first proper argument started, when Danielle said...
It's a bloody clash, you weirdo man.
Which, well, nobody expected from her. Then, 3 days later, we had our first kiss when Tamara and Winston smooched. Oh, get a room. By the second week, Jarlath and Pauline had locked horns.
Come here, you bloody chicken.
Something about chicken? Then, in the second week, Chris secretly had the power. By day 14, Hurricane Toya was blowing a gale through the house.
Mum, I didn't raise no fool!
I disagree. And by day 17, she finally blew herself out after saying...
Can everyone just calm the fuck down?
...to Ash, Winston and Marlon. She was the next to leave. On day 20, Helen called Matthew a,
Pigeon chested skinny prick. Do I have to say this?
Listen, don't over-egg your part, Matthew. By day 31, shit was getting real and the house fell out. Well, Ashley fell out with Kimberly during the seance task hosted by Mark. Ashley said Stephen could do much better, but trust me, he couldn't. And 3 days later, Marlon pushed a little button and caused a big mess. Everyone hated him after this. Go on, press the button. You know your button. Oh, the button. Oh, press it, Marlon. Press it. Okay, you're a silly boy. 2 days later, Stephen asked Kimberly to open it, which we were all very excited about. 4 days later, though, Marlon was evicted in his pants. Armageddon struck when Pav, Zoe and Bianca entered the house and Bianca wanted to ride Winston's cock. 3 days later, Ash and Helen kissed. Yay! Then, on day 54, we had letters from home. And there was a rainbow. Oh, yeah, and at some point, then Mark and Christopher became a thing. On day 57, though, the house found out from a focus group that everyone thought Mark was playing a massive game. Oh, giant dice, massive game. I like it. Mark and Winston were evicted, and that's all you need to know.
I just love the fact that was filmed in a car park. I love it. How was it?
It was good. But you know that we loved Jazzy P.
Jazzy P, yeah.
Well, I've never met Pauline because I was on holiday when she got evicted. And I went, oh, it's Jazzy P. And she went, it's Pauline.
Jazzy P.
I got pied.
You got pied by Jazzy P. I love it. Take it to the graves, babe. Well, listen, they all seem to look like they're having a nice time, but so much fun that apparently they all had a little party back at Stephen's house afterwards. And do you know what? He's on the line right now. You right, Stephen?
I'm not too bad. How you doing, Ryland?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How was last night?
It was fantastic. We're all hanging today.
What's the gossip?
Great night. Pardon, sir?
What's the gossip? What happened?
Well, we went to Watford afterwards.
Yeah.
I've got a whole host of Watford residents coming back to my house because Mark's invited them for a curry surprise.
Casual.
So we got the emoji at the ready.
Oh, God.
Bianca offered the taxi driver payment in kind rather than money at the end of the night.
One way to get around, Stephen.
We had some booze out in Watford last night by Bianca as well, so they got a good place. And also we were joined by one of your last year's housemates, the lovely Charlie Travers.
Oh, really? Charlie Travers! She's loving life.
I think the biggest bit of gossip I've got for you is that Winston and Tamara didn't make it. They had some personal time last night.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's
They
funny you
spent
should
the
say
evening
that,
together.
Stephen, because I'm going to love you and leave you because I've got Winston on the line. All right, Winston?
You all right? How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks, yeah.
Now, Winston, I heard you had a good night out in Southend-on-Sea on Saturday night.
Yeah, well, good night, yeah.
So what happened last night with Tamara?
Well, that's the thing, I was quite hanging, really. I was well hung over and that, so I thought I'd just give the old party and that, and me and Tamara went and chilled out, just chilled out back at home.
Chilled out?
Yeah.
Did it involve vomit, Louise has asked?
What's that?
Did it involve you being sick somewhere?
Do you know what I mean? It's hard work keeping her hands off me, do you know what I mean? She's been on me all night, you know?
Winston, did anything happen?
The gentleman never kisses and tells.
Well, you're on the show tomorrow night, so we'll find out then. Good night, Winston!
Cheers!
Very good. Listen, that's it for part 2, but worry ye not, because after the break we'll be diving balls deep into more exclusive content from the house. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. The Big Brothers bit on the side, where, like Judy James, we have absolutely no problem judging the main show's content every single night of the week. And do you know what? If making informative, observant and challenging entertainment is a crime, then lock us up, because we're guilty, aren't we? Yeah! We're guilty! Yeah. It's time now for another criminally good exclusive. Do you like that, criminally? Cop a load of this. Do you get it? I did it right. I did it right.
What's your mum's name?
Mary?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your mum's Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helen's
Everyone's
Mary.
Yours was Mary.
Christopher's Mary's.
You're kidding.
And they're all
Oh, my
Irish.
God. My
Little
mate's
small
mum
Mary.
is called Mary and she's tiny. Yeah. Tiny.
Oh, the little Irish?
Marys. She might have Irish family, I don't know, I never asked. She's not Irish, but it doesn't mean she doesn't come from an Irish family.
they're all Irish. All
Oh,
Irish,
that's
about 5'5", called Irish.
That is so weird.
Can't believe 4 out of 5 of us have got mums called Mary.
Very weird.
That is weird.
Imagine them all there on like Wednesday night. All the Irish Marys all stood together.
Hiya.
Hi, I'm Mary. What's your name? Mary.
That's easy, isn't it, too? Everyone just goes
So weird. If our mums roll over, it's kind of like, yes.
That's shaking hands. Mary.
Yeah, this is Mary.
Very Irish accent, please.
Here you go. But it's going to be so...
Oh, Jesus, that's so funny.
That is so weird.
Time now to take a look back at this year's theme, which has been Power Trip. Now, at the beginning, we were promised a game-changing series designed to manipulate and provoke the housemates more than ever. But has it delivered? Louisa, has Big Brother done us proud?
I think it's delivered for us. We've seen highs and lows. We've seen manipulation, ultimate game playing, paranoia from the housemates. I think it's been a really good theme.
It's worked for you?
It's worked for me.
Charlie, what about from last year? Obviously, you had Secrets and Lies. How do you think it's compared? Because you know what? I've got to be honest, last year we were like, how are we going to top this, Secrets and Lies? It was such a great series.
It's quite different. I mean, there's similarities with
Totally
the paranoia,
different,
but it's totally different, and that's obviously people-dependent. Dynamics completely different, but this year's, like, so much darker, it's more evil, and I think that the people are more out for themselves. It's very kind of, like, competitive this year. Last year was kind of more suspense and more exciting in a different way. But, yeah, the power's been a real sort of... It's very, very
It's defined
dominant.
the whole
It's totally
series.
taken over, yes.
Luke,
It's run the whole trip.
How do you think you would have done in Power Trip? Obviously, you're a Big Brother winner, but do you think you could have coped with this house?
Well, you know, you say it's Power Trip, but I feel like in our house it was a bit of a Power Trip, but on a smaller scale in a less sort of aggressive manner. So, you know...
I think
I'd
there's
like to
always
say
an
yes,
element
but-
of that, isn't there?
Yeah.
In every series, but
exactly.
this year more so than
It's
ever.
more magnified this year, definitely, so probably not.
Listen, let's talk about the first Power housemate, Pauline, who chose Jarlath to be up every week, and she awarded Helen the pass to the final. So, Susie, did she make the right choices? Let's look at this logically. From a show point of view, were they the right choices?
I think she made a fabulous choice giving Helen that pass to the final because it's meant to be, this is an entertainment show and there is nobody who's caused more controversy or conflict than Helen. So her having that pass through gave her free rein to act exactly how she wanted to act for the entire series because nobody could touch her. And they did the right thing not taking it away from her.
Yeah.
Because that just makes things weak. If you give somebody something to the final and then you take it away, it's weak. And I think Pauline made a great choice doing that. I really do.
Do you think, Charlie, that Helen would have been out by now if she didn't have that pass?
Absolutely. She would have been gone in week 1 or 2. No one likes someone that aggressive and that powerful. I mean, it doesn't give anyone else space to shine through, and the public want to see a kind of variety of everyone, and she's just so domineering, and she's just... Is that even a word?
Yeah.
Dominant.
Yeah.
She's just so powerful, and but for me, in a negative way. I couldn't be friends with someone like her.
Well, you said about the public. What do you think?
I have a lot of time.
Go on in the lime green.
I have a lot of time for Helen. I kind of think that she'd be a great person to invite to a party. She'd be a good friend, but I wouldn't want to fall out with her. However, I think the pass to the final didn't do any favours.
Do you think she still would have been here?
I doubt it very much because she made a lot of enemies with the public and the housemates in the beginning. We've softened to her a lot now, or some of us have, but I don't think she would have been here now.
I've got to go over. Mary, come on you. This is your moment.
But you know what? She's a northerner and so am I. So I feel like I really should defend her, but she was really sort of a bit heavy going, wasn't she?
Do you think she still would have been here?
Soft.
Possibly not.
Is she an undateable?
Definitely more than me. Yeah, she's
definitely more than Mary. That's what Mary thinks. Susie, do you think her having that pass to the final has potentially made her this year's most powerful housemate?
I think that she's had free rein to behave exactly as she wants. She is somebody who, if she hadn't had that pass through, may have had to rein it in slightly. And it's given her no fear. However, as I said earlier in the show, I think Ashley's very powerful. And I mean that in a more positive way. Yeah. For an 18-year-old girl, she's half Helen's age. And she's every bit as strong as her. And she definitely isn't as scary or intimidating. But, like Louisa said earlier, they all look so miserable in this final week.
So
and that's such a shame.
The thing is, though, with the power, you know, everyone was like, yeah, I really want to get the power, but it seemed a bit of a poison chalice in the early weeks, didn't it? Because so many of the power housemates got evicted pretty much soon after they had it.
Yeah.
Louisa, why do you think that happened? Was it an abuse of power?
No, I think that they, you know, as soon as they got the power, the housemates then put them up. And having the power, they were forced to make decisions that sometimes the public didn't like, which is why they probably left. So I think it was, a negative for the housemates that got it.
But one thing we did have with the power is we had two power alliances, didn't we? We had Toya and Matthew, and then we had Ashley, Chris and Mark. Charlie, why do you think Toya and Matthew struggled a lot more than the other group?
Because the other group were friends, so you can be on more of a level. And also, it was so early on. Toya and Matthew are so different. They couldn't be more opposite characters. And she's so strong and overpowering.
She's
Poor
very
Matthew. He didn't have a chance to say anything.
upfront.
He just kind of followed along with what she wanted to do. And, then she just went off on one as well, which I think that was very hard for him. For no reason at all, she just went mental.
Who's been your favourite power housemate, Nick?
Favourite power housemate? I don't know, it'd have to be Pauline. You know, she started off the series.
Listen, let's be honest.
Honestly,
right?
yeah.
If Pauline made different decisions, we would have had a completely different series.
Yeah, she set the tone for how the series has gone, I think.
Yeah? Louise, who do you think struggled with it?
I think Chris had a real sort of battle with it, especially because it was secret as well. For me, my favourite was Ashley, just the whole manipulative little, like, cute, dull face, but evil, Chucky character.
Does she remind you of you a bit? Do you see any of you in her?
I do. A little bit. I can be quite manipulative. I don't think I'm as pretty and innocent as Ashley, though.
I think you're beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
I love Louisa.
We're in love.
You. We are in love. Listen, let's talk about the power again. It's divided the house. Susie, do you think we would have seen a more harmonious house if there wasn't the power trip? Do you think that is what's caused all of this?
Well, I definitely think we would have seen a more harmonious house, because for a start, Helen wouldn't have been there. There is no way she would have lasted any longer than Toya did. And I think because of her still being there, we have seen a real lack of harmony in the house.
She's controlled the show.
And
She's taken over it.
It has been the Helen show.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I have really warmed to Helen.
I have too.
And I really liked her at first, and then I hated her, and now I'm going, actually,
I hate
quite
myself
like
for
her.
She's so manipulative.
I
don't know, I see through it.
Again, without
her.
sounding, pro Helen, against Helen or anything like that, it's got to be said, she has been a fantastic housemate.
She has.
And at the end of the day, we hate it when you get housemates, you think, oh, that was a waste of a space.
Yeah.
Whatever she's done, good nor
Yeah.
bad, we've spoken about
She's
her.
quite funny as well, and Ashley's as well. When they both go off on one, they're hilarious.
I want to ask you lot, let's talk about favourite power trip moments. What's your favourite moment from this series? Oh, here we go.
The focus group,
Why?
they were fab because they
Because
went
they were you lot, that's why.
They went in and they said what we wanted to say, most of them did anyway, and they got the truth and they didn't like it, and it stirred it up. It was great.
Yeah?
Really good.
Anyone else? Any other favourite moments? No. Just can't get the staff these days. Unless they're in the house, they won't pipe up. Listen, I guess we're never going to know what's going to happen in the next 4 days, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. Stay tuned, because after the break, we have got some exclusives for you, and the power has returned to the house. I'll see you after this. I'll get you a date, don't you worry. Welcome back to Big Brother's Bit on the Side, where, just like Christopher and Pav in the trial, we've been spouting rubbish whilst having silly hair for the past 10 weeks. There you go. But, hang on, only on Fridays, Saturdays and Mondays, Emma's hair is never silly. I have to say it, it's in my contract or I'll get sacked. Here's the news. At 12:50 this afternoon, Chris was in the diary room, totting up who was left in the house. Gangs?
If you want to get petty, in terms of the groups and the divides that existed, there are more of our number standing than the others, because Pav's he's a newbie. So, but really there's only Ash and Helen from the original gang team. So I'm kind of proud of that. We were the three that were definitely getting a lot of shoving in the corner and pushing to one side and having low expectations put upon us. So I think that's why it's kind of funny. We just stuck around. We just seemed to be a bit more durable to the process. Maybe not the most popular people in the house, but we're still here, and that is absolutely hilarious. So maybe we're now the cool gang?
Oh, do you know what? I can't wait for the next series of Ross Kemp on gangs. I can't. Do you know what? Oh, Ross is going to be spending some time with Christopher and Ashley in the next series. Terrifying. At 12:52 this afternoon, Ash was displaying one of his many talents and imparted this knowledge onto Pav.
Yeah, once you're in your corners, go back to normal. So it's folding in at you. Yeah, like that. And then you just, no. Now, you've got the cross kind of folding in, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you've got the corner to corner folding on that one.
Oh, yeah. So inside, and then... I love learning shit like this, man.
Yeah.
So you got it like that, like that.
Just take your time on it, just so you... Well, in fact, when you're learning, do it differently, yeah, fuck it. Then that's just learning.
All right, loose at the bottom, motherfucker. Yeah, boy, learn that shit. Hold it over that way.
Yeah.
Can't get that top bit right.
Good bit. Yeah, you just keep kind of... There's no, really right or wrong way.
Sick! Next.
Ash is bringing out the big guns in a push to be the winner, innit? Bit of origami. On to a winner there, Ash. And finally, at 2:49 this afternoon, Big Brother gathered their housemates to announce the return of an old friend. The power has returned!
This is Big Brother. Housemates.
Oh, gosh.
Here we go.
Again.
The power is back.
Why? Fucking lie.
And this time it's double trouble.
What? Why? Double trouble, what does that mean?
Two of you will have the power.
Gosh.
Big Brother can now reveal the power pair is...
Ash and Christopher.
Winston.
Christopher.
Ash.
And...
It has to be Ash.
Ash.
Yeah.
Shit, got it in the worst week possible.
This is the worst week to have it. Such the worst week to have it.
You're gonna have to decide now.
Decide that.
You're gonna have to decide now.
Will Christopher and Ash come to the diary room?
Fuck, you're gonna have to decide something now.
Fuck.
I guess you want to know what's happened, don't you? Yes! All right, well, I can exclusively reveal that you can find out all about it on tomorrow night's main show at 10 p.m. And that's your news! I'm not going to tell you. Don't owe me. Let's see what's happening in the world of digital. Susie and Louisa have been making friends with Ian. Susie, I've got to ask, if Ian was in Footballers' Wives, what part would he play?
I think he'd play the football coach.
The football coach?
The football coach?
In Footballers' Wives.
Would you be his wife in Footballers' Wives?
Absolutely.
Would you want to set Ian up?
OK.
All right.
What's your type?
Well, my type's the girlfriend that I've had for 7 years.
We know, but we think when you need, like, a little
just because she's watching, I've got to say
work.
that, but after the show, we'll sort it
Yeah,
out.
you up for it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
I'm right, dinner. I ain't got no time for BBI tonight, I'm afraid. I do apologise. So give it up for these guys. That is all we've got time for tonight. A massive thank you to all of my guests and my fantastic audience. Love them. Emma's here tomorrow with Winners Week. Craig Phillips is going to be here, Winston, and Clean Freak Kim Woodburn's going to be here. If you don't mind. Night-night.